In this video, we will see how to unwrap an entire organic model. So here we have a full character that comes from Blender demo files. Again, you can have a look at it here into the demo files. You can see that there are a few characters, so human-based meshes here, just to simplify your workflow. So here you have a few examples of different characters. I did choose the male tune, but you can make some experiment into other characters as well. So here I have this model and I would like to unwrap it correctly. I did remove any UV map information here. If you want, I will just save the file in the end of the tutorial. If you want to make the exercise, you just remove any UV map and you go in edit mode and you clear every seams and you can redo the entire exercise. So let's think a little of the different parts that you can think that we could treat like geometric shapes, basic shapes. So here, for example, here just into the arm, I will just go there and show you how to think for an entire model like that. So here, let's draw a little. Here, you have a cylinder, okay? Here, you have a cube. Here, you have a cylinder. Here, you have a cylinder, okay? Here, you have a big cylinder. Here, you have a cylinder. And it will be like that we will treat the entire model, okay? So for here you have a sphere, but basically it's treated like a cylinder. And maybe you have some more complex shapes like the ears and inside the mouth or things like that. But basically it's like this that you think when you want to unwrap a model like that, okay? So what we can do, here we are lucky we have a mesh that is totally symmetrical, so we will have a gain of time like this. I will go into the subdivision surface, click on optimal display, and here having this like this, I can really see more the geometry. I will go into UV editing, remove this texture here that I did create to make the tests, and I will start to focus into the head. Okay, so what I will do, I will make something very basic, and it's a technique that is used for the heads always, so you can really understand how it works. First of all, I will separate with this loop, so the loop of the neck over there. I may Control E, mark seam, and we have already something that is separated like that. Okay, and then I will create a scene behind the neck like that and go until almost the front like this. Okay, so let's keep this shape like that and just make Control E, mark seam again. Now I will select everything and make a U unwrap. It will take a little time. And what we have here, we have all the body that it doesn't work well because we have a lot of things that to make here to make it beautiful. Here in that space we have a lot of vertices, so it's not what we want. But here we can see already that we have a basic shape that works well for the entire face. But there are some stretching. We can see that there is a lot of stretching there over near the eyes. There are some stretching into the nose as well. There is some stretching here inside the mouth, and there is some stretching into the ears over there. So we can just cut these parts. Basically, it's like that you can manage this. So to manage this, we will just make a cut here with Control E, mark seam. Okay, and make a cut over there into the other side. Okay, so we will see that we will not have to make everything into the other side. I will show you the technique after, but for the arm. Let's just make it manually like that. Inside the mouse here, you have a big shape to represent the inside of the mouse. So what we will do, we'll select a loop over there. Not that one. Over there might be good, even if it's not really the one that I wanted. Over there, yes, maybe more that one, okay? And make Control E, mark sim again. So here we can see that the mouse, it's a sphere, so it has it needs to have a basic cut into it. It's not a sphere, it's more like a cylinder. So we'll make a basic cut over there and separated this part in two parts. So to can do that, what we can easily do is just go into the vertices mode and hide this part, okay? And like this, we can just see a little more what will happen inside. In perspective view, we can go inside, as you can see, and now you can select that loop, and it will not create an entire selection as we did hide the loop that was there. And now we can put back the loop that we had with Alt H. So I will come back in this kind of view, Alt H like this, and you have the right selection to make Control E, mark sim. Okay, so this loop will be inside. So this was a little the difficult part, let's say. For the rest, we can just cut over there, maybe here. Let's see a little how it looks here. Yeah, I think we can cut over there. Come back to this with this option, I prefer. So we can cut the entire ear like that. Yeah, and it will be good. And then we will see how it's unwrapped. But let's make Control E, mark sim. So if you don't want to make the same into the other side, it's a mesh that is for now totally symmetrized. So what you can do, you can select everything and go into the mesh here, symmetrize. And what it will do, it will take basically the left side and put it into the right side. We want to make the inverse. So here, and like this, you will have the loop that will appear directly here. So now we can select everything and make you unwrapped. And we can see that we have holes and far less here stretching into these parts. We can see the inside of the mouse here. We can see the ears. Really, it's good like this. We have something that looks good. And we can see the entire of the eyes. Where is the last part? It's here. Entire of the eyes and entire of the nose here. Okay? So basically, it looks good. We are happy with that. Now, what I can do, I can continue and see what will happen with the rest of the body. So I will have to cut somewhere over here. Let's say maybe here. Okay. Maybe, yeah, maybe here can be good. I would say that here it's a nice loop. Okay. So I will select that loop, and then after, from the beginning of this loop, I will make mark sim, go in orthographic view. From the beginning of this loop, so sometimes it's a little difficult to catch, and we want to follow a line that will be hidden mostly. So inside like this, it's a good loop. So I would say that I will continue here until the wrist. Okay, and I will cut the wrist. So it will be maybe that loop over there. Okay. So here we make Control E, mark sim, and now we make mesh symmetrize. Like this, we have both, and we reselect everything and make you unwrapped. So now we can see more, and now we have the arms just like this. Very easy actually. Now we will continue. So what I like to do, some people they like to separate all the fingers, and separate the end. But there is a technique that I like well to make only one loop easy and to make only one part for the entire end. So for this you have to follow this technique and select the loop that goes through the finger here. So it might be that one. Okay, and what we do, we select and we continue to select this loop until we have everything selected like this, just with control clicks. Okay, it should work well with this technique. So control click, you see that it takes the loop inside as well. And actually we cut the hand in half. Okay, and we stop here over there, and we will see how it unwraps, and maybe we'll make some modifications, but we will see. So let's make Control E mark sim. What it will do in that case, I reselect everything, make a symmetrize with mesh symmetrize. What you can do now after unwrap, it's you watch here the ends. So look, actually there are no overlapping, everything is well unwrapped. So it's a technique that I like. The other technique, you can just separate the fingers, but it creates more islands. So sometimes you want something more efficient and easy to manage, so you just make this, and sometimes you cut the fingers to have another way of doing unwrapping technique like this. Both works well. So yeah, this one is easier in my opinion, it's quicker. Now here we can just select this loop to separate the leg. Okay, so very easy to select just like that. Control E mark sim, and then as it will be this part over there that will be hidden, we will just make this loop, select that loop over here and go until the ankles over there. So we will separate the foot after, so I will stop maybe near here, it might be good. Nice. So now I can select this loop and we can Control E mark sim, select everything, make a mesh symmetrize. If you want to add symmetrize into a shortcut, you can put it into a shortcut. It's really something that I use a lot when I model shapes like this. Or you can add to quick favorites with right click. And now if you have the Q, you will have your quick favorites. So you can make a kind of really nice special menu just for you. And now I can unwrap here everything. So what I will have the legs now, that works well, the arms, the hands, the entire body that doesn't work well, it seems, the body part here, the bust, and here we have the feet that we have to manage as well. So for the foot, I can take this entire loop as well. So what I will do, you can see that it's this loop that crossed the entire geometry like that, okay? So what I will do, I will just select a loop over there and I will hide a part. So maybe it should be here. I will hide this part here. And we will see how it works first, because sometimes it doesn't work well. So let's try with this. And we may Control A mark sim. I will just make an extrusion, an unwrap just for this part, and after we'll symmetrize when we find everything good. So here we can see the result. We have a little overlapping over there, so it needs more cut. And maybe we will need to remove some, so we will see. Or sometimes yeah, let's add more here and one more here. Control E mark sim. Let's make an unwrap to see the results. Oh, it's worst. So it's less that we have to put maybe in the end. Let's go until here. Control A mark seam, clear seam, sorry. And now I select everything. And if it doesn't work, we will separate everything into, yeah, this has no overlap, so this is better. Okay, so we can keep the entire foot in one piece, and we make symmetrize for that. So let's go into Q, symmetrize, select everything, and make a U unwrap. Now we have a nice unwrap everywhere except the body. Okay, so for the body here, for the main body, what we will do, we can separate in two parts, okay, or keep it in one part. So when you want to manage it in two parts, you just cut this loop over there and follow it here from here to there, then here, then here, and then here, okay? So this might work well, and that's what I choose mainly, but sometimes you can just follow this and want to keep in one part, okay? So to keep it in one part, you have to make a big loop here until here, let's say, so from here to here, then add the cut that will go until the loops that you did create there, and you will have to make this kind of loop, kind of cross shape over here, okay, and join the other loops. So it can work less good. So let's have a look on, let's make the two solutions and see how it looks. Like this, you see the two possibilities. So here you have the unwrap like this, and it will create this kind of shape, okay? Sometimes it creates some stretching in some places. Let's have a look of the stretching with the material view here. So I did create a material, the shader already. So we can see that actually it's not stretched. Looks good. There is a little stretch on the face, but actually it's normal. This it's very often. So for this, sometimes what you can do if you don't want that stretch here too much, what you can do is just make a loop like this and go until there. Over here, say. Okay, so if you have this loop here, it can reduce the stretch of the face. So let's add it and make Control E mark seam, but it makes a seam really in the face. So sometimes you don't want that. So it will really depend on what you want. But now if I make a new unwrap, you can see that the face will be a little less stretched. There is always stretch because it's prominent. Geometry there, like the nose and here the mouth, but mostly it's normal. And here we can see that we don't have that much stretching for the rest as well. So it looks good. We have something that, yeah, that is regular here with good regularity. So what we will do, I will show you the other system. So what I will do, I will select all of this here, here, and here, and here as well. And I will clear the seam, okay? And come back to the body, and we will make the other technique. So we can split the entire geometry in two. So let's go into there, Control maybe the left side like this. We will go quicker. Control E mark seam, and then come back from the beginning and follow the good loop until here. Control E mark seam, and make a loop here in the center as well. And Control E mark seam. Now I will make just the symmetrize like this. We have the same into the other side, okay? and then I make the unwrap again. So now what we will have will be something with no, it's not what I did expect. So I did maybe don't have the entire loop over here. I will have a look into wireframe view. Maybe I did miss this one here. You see, if you miss one, you have a strange shape and it will not work well. Just this one, Control E Maxim. Okay, and now I make again this one, and you see that now I have the front and the back here. Okay, so this one and that one. So it's quite a good unwrapping here. What I will do, because this shape takes a lot of space, so maybe I will cut it there for the head. So I will go there. So basically it's this that I have to cut it here. Okay, Control E Maxim. I will make another unwrap. So now we can see the two parts, and now you see that it takes quite a good space into the 2D view. If you want to reorganize and make it automatically, you don't have to make L and scale and make rotation, and you can really do it automatically by selecting everything and go to UVs, and you have something that is called Seams, no, not Seams from Iceland, it's Pack Iceland. And you can see that when you pack islands, it will just take the best space as possible into the 2D space like this. So it didn't change that much, so maybe it's well done. And with this option here, with the pack island, you have the possibility to use a margin. So if you want to keep a margin a little bigger, let's put 0.02 maybe, and back it again. You see that now I have margin between each part. Sometimes it's good when you paint into a 2D view, it can be good to use that. So this is the way of having a good UV layout like this. So I come back to something with less big margin, like 0.002, and I pack it again. And you see now I have a little margin like that, and it did fill the space as much as possible. A technique that can be important for a character like this is that the face will take more details, because we have often some framing that looks directly the face. So it's important to have more details in some cases. And so in some cases you can scale it up, this one, and scale up all the face parts like this, okay? And it will take more space into the interface. So now you will have to pack it again. So you come back and go to UV and pack it. To pack islands. And again, it will pack this. Now you can see that it takes more space. So now you will have more informations into the face of the character. And so now you have this kind of pattern, because you can add more pixels. So when you zoom directly and when you frame directly the face, you will not have some bad pixels here or things like that. So you can add more informations in the part that you want. For example, if this part here is under closes always, it doesn't need a lot of pixels under. So maybe you can stretch it and put it a little, make it more little into the UV space. So that's it for the UV unwrap, and that's it for this chapter as well. I think in the next chapter we will see how to paint our models yeah, we will go into texture paint. So I will show you how to paint models and how to use the tools and the specific tools of the texture paint here. So let's go for that into the next chapter.